This week's girlfriend question comes from a guy named Dave the One. Dave sent me a message. He was sitting at brunch, staring at a menu he couldn't afford, when his girlfriend looked up from Zillow on her phone. She turned the screen towards him, showing a house that costs more than the GDP of a small country, and asked, "Babe, how does a mortgage actually work? Like, where does the money go?" Dave froze. He did that thing where you pretend to chew your food for a really long time so you don't have to answer. Because the truth is, Dave has no idea. Most of us don't. We know it involves signing papers until our hands cramp, and we know it involves paying money until we die. But the mechanics? The engine under the hood? It's a mystery. And trust me, the answer is way crazier than you think. Because when you actually peel back the layers of a mortgage, you realize you aren't just buying a house. You are entering into the most complex, legally binding, and slightly toxic relationship of your entire life. So, let's save Dave's relationship and yours by explaining exactly how this beast works. Let's start with the biggest lie in real estate. It's the lie you tell your friends, your parents, and your girlfriend. You say, "I bought a house." No, you didn't. Unless you just wired $500,000 in cash from a briefcase, you did not buy a house. Here is the twist. You bought a debt. When you sign a mortgage, the bank buys the house. The bank owns the house. You are just a glorified tenant with permission to paint the walls and pay for the broken boiler. You are renting money, not buying bricks. Imagine telling your girlfriend that. "Hey honey, great news. We didn't buy a home. We just signed a 30-year lease with a faceless corporation that will kick us out if we miss 3 payments." It doesn't sound as romantic, does it? But it is the truth. A mortgage is a marriage. But not a happy marriage. It's a marriage to a partner who is wealthy, paranoid, and strictly business. That partner is the bank. And if you want to live in their house, you have to play by their rules. Let's set the scene. You want the house. You look at the price tag. Let's say it's $500,000. You check your bank account. You are approximately $480,000 short. You walk into the bank and say, "I would like that house, please." The bank looks at you. They look at your credit score, and they say, "Okay, we will buy this house for you, but we are going to be partners for the next 30 years. This brings us to the 2 main characters of your monthly bill, principal and interest. If you explain this to your girlfriend, keep it simple. Principal is the stake. Interest is the service charge, the tip, and the valet parking fee all rolled into one. The principal is the actual amount of money you borrowed. If the house is $500,000, the principal is $500,000. Every time you pay off $1 of principal, you actually own $1 more of your house. But the bank isn't a charity. They are a business. And their product is cash, so they charge you interest. Interest is the rent you pay on the money. And this is where the numbers get terrifying. Let's say you get a 30-year mortgage at a 6% interest rate. That sounds low, right? You tip your waiter 20%. 6% sounds like a bargain. Wrong. Because of the way time works, that 6% compounds. Over 30 years, you won't just pay back the $500,000. You will likely pay back a total of $1 million. Let that sink in. You buy one house for yourself, and you buy a second invisible phantom house for the bank. You don't get to live in the second house. It is simply the profit margin for the bank. Before the marriage officially starts, the bank wants a gesture. They want proof that you are serious. They are terrified that you will move into the house, realize fixing the roof is expensive, and just walk away. So they demand a down payment. Think of the down payment like an engagement ring. But instead of buying it for your partner, you are giving it to the bank to prove you aren't going to run away at the altar. Usually, this is 20% of the house price. That's $100,000 in cash. If you have $100,000 of your own money trapped in the house, the bank knows you won't walk away. It's called skin in the game. But what if you don't have 20%? What if you only have 5%? No problem, says the bank. We can still do the deal. But because you are risky, we are going to force you to pay for PMI. PMI, private mortgage insurance, is the most insulting fee in the world. PMI is an insurance policy that you pay for that protects the bank in case you fail. It does nothing for you. It adds zero value to your house. It is literally just a trust issues fee because you were too broke to afford the full down payment. If your girlfriend asks what PMI is, tell her, it's the stupidity tax for not saving enough money before we bought the place. Now we get to the part that confuses everyone, the math. If you borrow $500,000 over 30 years, you might think your monthly payment is split 50-50 between the house and the interest. Absolutely not. The bank hired mathematicians to design a system called amortization. It ensures they get their profit first. Here is how it works. You make your first monthly payment of $3,000. You write that check thinking, I am paying off my home. But you look at the statement. Out of that $1,000, $2,500 went to interest, the bank's profit. $500 went to principal, your actual house. In the beginning, you are basically just paying rent to the bank. You are barely touching the loan balance. Why? Because the bank knows people move. They know you might sell the house in 7 years. So they stack the interest at the front of the loan to make sure they get paid before you leave. It takes about 15 years before the scales tip. You spend the first half of the mortgage climbing up a steep cliff of interest, sweating and crying, and only in the second half do you get to actually pay off the house. We aren't done yet. Because the bank doesn't just want to be your partner, they also want to be your nanny. Owning a house comes with other bills, property taxes, and insurance. The government wants their tax money. If you don't pay, they seize the house. The bank looks at you. They see a person who forgets to water the plants. They think, I do not trust this human to pay the taxes on time. So they invent Escrow. Escrow is a forced savings account. Instead of letting you save up for taxes on your own, the bank adds an extra $500 to your monthly mortgage bill. They take that money, put it in a vault, and when the tax bill comes, they pay it for you. It's insulting. It feels like they are treating you like a child who can't handle their allowance. But honestly, it saves you from yourself. It prevents you from spending your tax money on a new PlayStation. So, thanks, Nanny Bank. So, what happens if the relationship goes south? What happens if you stop paying? This leads to foreclosure. Foreclosure is the divorce. But in this divorce, the bank takes everything. If you ghost the bank, they take the house back. They change the locks. And here is the kicker. You don't get your money back. All those years of payments, gone. The down payment, gone. The bank sells the house to cover their debt, and you are left with nothing but a ruined credit score. It is ruthless. It is efficient. And it is why a mortgage is a pinky promise with extreme consequences. At this point, you are probably thinking, this sounds horrible. Why would anyone do this? And if I told my girlfriend all of this, she would look at me and say, okay, so let's just rent forever? And that is where the logic flips. Because renting is also a relationship. But renting is a relationship with a Tinder date who ghosted you. When you rent, you pay 100% interest. You get zero equity. You are paying off someone else's mortgage. The reason we play this game with the bank, the reason we sign the toxic contract, is for one magic word: equity. Remember the principal? That tiny slice of the payment that actually buys the house? Over time, that slice grows. Year 10, you own a bedroom. Year 20, you own the upstairs. Year 30, you own the whole thing. And when that day comes, the payments stop. Imagine that. Living in a house for free. A mortgage is painful. It is expensive. But it is also a tool for time travel. It allows you to live in a future you haven't earned yet. It lets you have the house today while you pay for it tomorrow. So tell your girlfriend this. Babe, a mortgage is a very expensive partnership. But if we play by the rules, eventually the bank leaves, and the castle is ours. If your girlfriend has a question you want me to answer next, drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. I break down money, tech, business, and life's big mysteries in the simplest way possible. See you in the next one.